Today's deep dish cheddar chicken comes from one of my 1970s or 80s cookbooks, and it was so good. I did mess it up a little bit, but I'm going to set you straight so you don't. So the first thing we do is saute the onion. Now we're adding in some flour, and we're going to add some milk, and we're going to make a little roux. Now the first thing we're supposed to add to this is cheese. I grabbed the chicken, and it was fine, but I think what it is if you add the cheese first, it makes the cheese sauce. After you add the cheese, let's pretend that's cheese, you cook that for 5 minutes, and then you add your chicken. You cook that for 10 minutes, and then you add your broccoli and you cook for another 10 minutes. Now all this will be in the description box below. I'll have these directions so you can follow along. And once everything is cooked through, we're just going to season it with a little salt and pepper. Okay, now we've got our salt and pepper in there. We're going to top this with some crescent roll sheets. I just got the Walmart brand. You can use any ones you want. Now it does say to pour this mixture in a casserole dish, but this pan that I have here, the handle comes off and it's oven safe, and I didn't want to wash another dish, so I just put it in here. But this is like putting a square peg in a round hole, so it wasn't the prettiest, but it does come out pretty. We're going to pop that into a 350-degree oven. Let me check the time on that. I think it was 30 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes, or until the crescent rolls are nicely browned. And here are our finished plates. We both very much enjoyed this, and it's definitely going back on rotation. I'll have your ingredients listed here, and again they'll be in the description box below with the directions. Today we're making the sausage and potato pie that came out of the Irish Granny's cookbook that my sister brought over from Ireland. So the first thing we're going to do is peel the potatoes and boil those up. They took about 15 minutes, but I do cut them fairly small. The recipe says to boil them and then peel them afterwards. I will put the original recipe in there, but that's just the way my mother used to do it back in the day, and I just think that now peeling prior to boiling is a newer thing. It's what I learned to do, but I do remember my mother doing it the other way around. Here we are cutting them up super small. I've got the water heating up on the induction, and we'll get those boiling soon. Okay, they've been boiled. I've drained them, and now I'm adding the butter, and I'm going to add the parsley, and then we're going to mash those up. I used a hand whisk, or a hand mixer. You can use whatever you like to do with your potatoes. And once I took the potatoes off the induction, I put the sausage on to cook that up. I did not want to use the propane because it was 100 degrees today outside. So I like to use my induction when it's hot. It doesn't heat up. Now the sausage is done. We're going to go ahead and add that and all the rest of the ingredients, which I will list here at the end of this clip and also in the description box below. As usual, I will have the directions and the ingredients. I'm giving it a bit of a taste test. I didn't taste the pepper and I couldn't taste the nutmeg, so I added more of both. And then when I tasted it the second time, it was so much better. And it definitely needed it because I could taste it once I had made it. And if I hadn't put the extra in there, I don't think there would have even been a resemblance of it. It doesn't tell you how much to use of the salt and pepper. The nutmeg also is to taste, so it doesn't exactly give you the amounts. So we're going to put this in a casserole dish. I did spray it, and it goes in a 375-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until the top's nice and brown like that. Here are our finished plates. I just put some broccoli on the side. Absolutely delicious, and I hope you give this a try too. Today we're going to do a slow cooker Italian chicken meal, which is super simple. The first thing I'm going to do is dice up the chicken per direction. Now we're going to add in 2 ingredients. The first one is diced tomatoes, and the second is a Knorr garlic and herb seasoning packet. This recipe came from one of my thrift store cookbook hauls, and it was so good, and I just couldn't believe how easy it was. So I hope you give it a try. The only thing I had to do at the end of the day was make some rice to serve this on, and I sprinkled it with a little parsley. I hope you give it a try. So our Labor Day dinner is not a recipe. I'm just going to show you what we had. Big Daddy put burgers on the grill. He seasoned those with the Kinder's wood fire garlic. Really good. Corn on the cob with butter and milk in the water. Really good. And we cooked homemade buns. Here's our finished plates. We didn't go all out, but it filled us up, and then we watched TV. It was a super relaxing day. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's meals. I have more coming to you next Monday. And if you made it to the end of today's video, please leave me a corn on the cob emoji. That way I know you were here.